See, when dealing with my copy, no one thinks of the original user of the copy technique. For whatever reason, they think about was and how many techniques I have in my stock. They don't stop to think of the original having the exact same properties what I have. Especially for those who know how copy works, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking it's me as taking out the technique instead of copying it. The true strength of copy is having two of the same card in our hand. To copy is one of the coolest things in fiction, and I'm gonna yap about it because this is my channel! For the absolutely insane intro, but let me finally discuss something that I've been thinking about for months. I've noticed I have this trend of just loving characters that do mimicry, and I don't know what it is. The small things, it doesn't have to be the straight like powers taking, like Taskmaster taking over characters' fighting styles, or the Z fighters just copying each other's abilities over and over, like fighting techniques, or even something as small as Luffy mimicking Sanji's kicks. At least anime only, at least. Of just knowing how to recreate something you've seen feels like not just flattery to the other character, but it just feels like it's like a all coming together moment. And I'm just really gonna delve into how much I really love these type of characters. It does it the least, but I still mess with it, would have to be Sonic the Hedgehog, learning how to do chaos control on the first try, and then never recreating it again, at least in current time. I know we technically did it in Sonic 06, but that timeline reset, so we're in current time again, so hasn't used it since. Saying exactly that he can step up to the moment to know exactly how to redo everything, and honestly, the fact that he was able to do it first try with no practice, without even having the idea of what to really do, really is just like a nice job, man. Character goes, that was the fastest one to talk about because it really hasn't that much impact. But the ones I'm about to discuss more, man. I started Hunter x Hunter. I was not expecting anything that deep. I keep hearing how Gon is a great character, hear how Killia is one of the best dualities. I hear about how Hisoka is one of the most creepiest characters ever made in anime. I didn't realize there'd be a character so calm, collective, and chaotic at the same time as Crollo. Shows how he fights. I saw the episode when he was dealing with Killia's father and granddad, and then he was pulling down their techniques in a book, and he was running around as if he had like, oh, I'm barely living. And then when he replicated their abilities perfectly in a 2v1 situation, I was appalled. I was like, what? I was so shocked. I was like, this can happen? This type of character exists? So early. I thought the Phantom Troop was something that was like it's a late game thing, you're never gonna see them. They show up in the first 50 episodes. What? Absolute shock. I was so completely like bewildered. And to know that like I haven't even seen the peak of his abilities, it intrigues me. To write down your opponent's abilities and then just pop it right back out, it shows the dedication to the detail that Crollo is able to do just to go through with his plans. And we saw that when he had his Phantom Troop steal the daughter. How calculated it all was with the explosions and the timing. He is just such a calm, collective person, even when it's such a dire moment, and I'm just so amazed. So glad that I can actually see a series where the copy user is the villain. And I'm so excited to see more for Hunter x Hunter. I'm definitely going to continue reading, and I'm definitely going to watch more unique versions of copy. I want to talk about stuff that people aren't really seeing when it comes to copy. It'll be Yuta Agotsu. I love my goat! Has some of the most nonchalant way of showing off his copy. He doesn't even express that he's taking the ability. He just uses it without any saying at all. And he does it to a T almost perfectly all the time. He learned how to do curse speech the exact same day he got it. He learned how to use sky manipulation the exact same day he got it. He learned how to use Drew's terse technique the exact same day he got it without any kind of tutorial. He watched it once and said, I can do that. And he does it in spades. He does it in ways the characters even do. He pulled out his hair and then out comes Shimigami Eureka's. How do you know how to do that? How? How is he knowing how to do that? And I'm not saying he's using the abilities always better, because manga only. When we see him fighting Sukuna, he's able to use dismantle and cleave, but it wasn't really like, it wasn't anything that was like, oh, it's better than Sukuna, you know what I mean?
But at the same time, this is the first time he's seeing Sukuna really battle. He watched Gojo and Sukuna fight, then he went to go fight Kenjaku, and came right back in the midst of it. He really didn't get like a hands-on experience. He just kind of watched from afar. You know what I mean? He wasn't there on the battle. And the fact that he got it and just used it there, is like, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I know people clown him for his performance in Gojo's body, but for once, that wasn't a copy. That was him just using Kenjaku's ability and then going inside Gojo. He possessed Gojo's body because of Kenjaku's copy. It wasn't a copy of, oh, he took Gojo's technique. Because if it was Yuta in his body with Gojo's techniques, he would be so much more better than just being in a whole different person's body. He even mentions it in the battle. He's like, I did not expect to be able to reach this far. It's surprising to me. But he was able to catch on. At least a month of training, he was able to catch on to using Gojo's body. One thing I always respect Yuta for is that quote that he says, for duplication. You know something that's better than just watching the characters use your copy abilities? You copying their characters' abilities yourself. When I played Marvel Rivals, I had maybe 3 characters in mind that I'd actually play. Spider-Man, Adam Warlock, and Thor. I didn't expect the mischievous god himself to be one of my bags. Found out his ultimate ability was taking other characters as a character and then using their abilities. Oh, I was hooked in. You couldn't say nothing about what I was going to ult with. Now, in competitive, I'll use the healer ult more often because I don't really trust my teammates enough. If I'm stacked up, I'm not going to keep using the healer ult all the time. But if I am going normally, just healer ult. But when I'm able to play how I want to play, oh, I'm a monster. It feels amazing. Your ultimate's basically saying, I'm diffing you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Especially when you're a flex player like I am, you know what to do with Loki.
I am your king. Your powers are mine. Oh, thought you had me.
In conclusion, copying some of the coolest shit in my opinion, bro.